I am Silvia Damiano.
And I'm Dr. Kaushik Ram.
We are here today to discuss our upcoming program, the neurobiology of coaching. And it is such a pleasure to be working with you, Kaushik, and an amazing faculty of very experienced coaches to deliver this program. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to do for us. What are you going to teach people?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Sylvia. I will be talking about mental performance, and this is quite a broad area of research. So, what we'll do is we'll break it down into four key pillars, being mental readiness, balance, integrity, and ethics. And I think these are the key pillars that allow people to perform best and in a very holistic way. So these are the areas that we'll be covering from a neuroscience perspective.
That sounds fantastic. And you know that we have built this program around the I4 model and the I4 methodology. And performance is one of the competencies that we discover that people really need to learn in order to do the work they do on a daily basis. So going deeper into the neuroscience of performance is going to be very, very helpful. Tell us a little bit about intuition, because you're also going to be talking about this.
Absolutely. So I think when we talk about performance, it's very easy to just talk about it from a mental headspace. And there's so many programs out there that talk about mindset and coaching for performance. But there's very little out there that actually takes the body into account. And one of the signals that we receive from the body is intuition. And so there'll be a separate section teaching leaders simply about what this signal from the body is and how to apply it to decision making.
That sounds very interesting. And many people may be wondering, am I right for this program? I've just finished a life coaching course and I want to know if I can learn about neuroscience or neurobiology in more depth. And the answer is absolutely yes. It doesn't matter what level of coaching expertise you have. You can be a newbie or you can be someone with lots of experience. We have prepared a program that is really cutting edge with the latest neuroscience and biological components that we can talk about and incorporate into the coaching profession. So, are you excited?
Absolutely. It is a very fun program to be part of. And what do people expect in terms of how long this program will be, Sylvia?
Well, we have prepared this program, designed this program for busy people. So we are going to meet weekly from August onwards, and for a period of 6 months. There will be a couple of week holidays and a couple of weeks to integrate and do some homework and some assignments. But it's going to be really practical, not just theoretical, even though there will be components of theory. It will be practical. We will have challenges and we will have a lot of community engagement. So we can encourage each other. So very dynamic, and there is a component of the certification that we offer for people to understand the I4 model, and then they can jump straight into the 6 months program on the neurobiology of coaching.
Incredible, incredible. And it sounds like a very comprehensive program, Sylvia, and it's an absolute pleasure to be part of this.
Is it important to develop our intuition in order to be better coaches, Kaushik?
Yeah, absolutely, Sylvia. I think it is fundamental because we can learn a lot of knowledge by understanding different coaching principles, understanding different aspects of neuroscience. But more fundamental that is to be able to apply that knowledge implicitly. And if you're not coming from an intuitive space, you're just doing textbook knowledge for your client. And of course, they might learn something new, but to be able to deliver the right information at the right time is something that intuition allows you to do.
That's great. And I'm just very curious about you and your own coaching journey as a neuroscientist. So, you studied neuroscience, and because of your expertise, people come to you to learn how to manage their autonomic nervous system, for example. What insights have you taken from working with people in this space?
One of the biggest insights is that a lot of people who do come to me have tried a lot of programs before they arrive to my program, because what I teach is, I guess, a bit specific. So people go on a very general route, and some people are coming from, I guess, the mental health space. They've been on medication, they've tried therapy. Some of them have been in psychology coaching for a number of years, sometimes even decades. And when they do arrive at the program that I teach, what I find most profound is how simple it is, because it's designed to work with your own biology. So I'm not adding more information into their minds, but I'm teaching their body a lot of the things that the body should be doing by itself. And because we're not taught this, and we just taught, talk therapy, uh, a lot of people are only training half their story and or half their body. So it's really, really important to ground this knowledge in a way that the body is able to do a lot of the things that it's supposed to do autonomically, rather than teaching the brain to do what the body is supposed to.
Yeah, I guess that we have forgotten, and our busy lives and sitting too much at the computer really disconnects our minds and our brains from our bodies, and we don't know how to tap into that intelligence that we all have, right?
Absolutely. And I think that gap between brain body and digital economy is getting even more stretched, especially, this is 2023, and we see how much AI is progressing in that direction as well. So a lot of things that we used to do by ourselves uh, has been taken over digitally, but at the same time, the connection that we had is now with technology rather than human to human communication. So that is adding to a much more, I guess, nuanced version of relating to the world. And it's affecting so many kids who are growing up with this technology. So, the generations previous to us, in the baby boomer generation or Gen Z, we're already seeing how much technology has changed the way they behave. But now, in this new world of AI, this is going to be even more. So it's something that we very deeply need to address.
For people who coach children or teenagers or young adults, what are some of the things that we need to learn in terms of coaching better, because we are facing a generation with different challenges, and that they are going to be stuck with technology and with the artificial intelligence, and we won't be able to help them compare what was like in the past to what it is now. What would you say to these coaches? What do they need to learn differently?
It is very important to reinforce strong boundaries from a very young age. When you see kids who are so addicted to video games or so addicted to TikTok, uh, they are already in the danger zone, and sometimes it's very hard to get them back from that place, because now they're in that world. And to really work with kids, you have to start from the very beginning. Of course, sometimes parents, sometimes teachers don't have that option. And in those cases, I think uh, providing kids with an alternative to technology is where you start. So, uh, you know, taking kids off their screen time, taking them to the beach, taking them to a walk in the forest, even if they go complaining the whole way through, at least they're getting exposure to something different. So you can't do it with technology. And this is the biggest, I guess, paradox people are facing, is they're trying to treat the problem with the problem itself. And that's not the way of going about it.
So, Koshik, tell us what you are going to cover specifically in this program.
There are four key pillars that we'll cover, which is around, firstly, mental readiness, which I think is become a very important part, because we live in a society that is so distracted and is so overstimulated. So part of what we're going to cover is how to optimize the brain so that it's able to respond to moment rather than in this ADHD sort of distracted world that has been normalized for the cultures today. So, mental readiness is one key pillar. We'll also talk about balance. So, how to balance the brain and body, because optimal performance is not just about the brain, but mental gains do come with working on the body first. So, that is a fairly important topic that we'll cover. And then we'll talk about integration. So, integration really is about how your nervous system is working synergistically with the moment. And it's something that we don't really consider in terms of performance, especially in this culture where there's so much focus on performance enhancement. And we often do it chemically. We take another coffee, we do take performance enhancing drugs. There's so many things that are enabling performance, but at the detriment of the body. So, integration is about what works with the body. And then finally, we'll talk about ethics, because in the current culture today, we find that there's a degradation of morals and values. And to bring that back is sometimes confronting. People say it goes against progress, but it actually allows progress to happen when you have the right values and standards in place. So, ethics is a really big topic that we'll look at as well.
Thank you for that, Koshik. I think that once people really understand how to optimize their performance at a biological level, that has a huge impact on other things that we do in life, which are collaboration, innovation, the capacity to be agile and adapt to different circumstances.
The neurobiology of coaching is a very unique program that you're offering, Sylvia. Can you tell me what separates this program from the other programs that are out there?
That's a very good question, Koshik. And the idea behind putting together this program, considering that there are other offerings in the market that may sound similar, is more about awakening some of the abilities that we all have and we don't use as much in the workplace. Things like imagination, the precursor of creative thinking and innovation, on the ability to connect to other human beings and create this sense of belonging that is so hard after people have been working from home for almost 3 years. And we are facing unprecedented circumstances. We have never been in a place where some leaders have to manage people remotely and some people are back in the office. There seems to be a disconnection and they don't really have the skills to entice them to come back. So we need to work on better understanding of how to inspire people, how to influence them, how to help them change and adapt to this new world. And this is the hybrid workplaces of today. And by learning how to coach from a biological perspective is much more useful than telling people what to do or change behaviors, because for many, many years, people that are in the space of organizational development, we have realized that telling people to change a particular behavior doesn't work. But what people like to do is to understand how they are wired, how they think and feel, and how their brain can help them to change certain aspects of themselves that will allow them to adapt. So this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I certainly agree with that. You know, the organizational change is very much around making new policies, but at the same time, does that address the underlying biology of people, which is often lacking in these policy changes as well. So that is something that I'm really looking forward to.
That's fantastic. And if you think about people sitting down behind a computer creating policies for others without understanding what really drives the human brain or what the body needs in order to replenish and to work more effectively, whatever policy you create is extremely limited. And it's not achieving the objectives that the organization wants, which is, people coming together, achieving the vision or the goals, but in a state of harmony, in a state where the well-being is taken care of. And people's expectations have changed a lot. People expect more from their employers. And when it comes to well-being, they really don't know how to guide employees to achieve this. So well-being programs is an aspect, meditation and yoga sessions are another aspect, but educating everybody to be on the same platform is going to be quite useful. So this program is aiming to coaches, but also to leaders or anyone interested in understanding themselves more.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Certainly for leaders, because it's easy to just throw in a bunch of programs, such as yoga and meditation. But if a leader themselves is not embodying that, then it does not really provide the right ethics and the right setting for that to happen. So when leaders do show and demonstrate that experientially, then it gives, I guess, a role model for other employees, other staff members to follow suit. So I think that is a beautiful part that this program is going to address.
Exactly. Thank you, Kaushik.